welcome back to the Yoga Show. Welcome back to ACTV here at Atwood Video Productions in Auburn, California. How about digestion? Digestion, digestion. Not a word everybody wants to say, not a topic of conversation necessarily, but there are certain yoga postures and just certain daily postures that can be very, very beneficial to digestion. And without assuming, let's face it, a lot of people, especially under the stresses of today, have digestion issues, even if some is all about stress. So I'm going to do one posture right here in the beginning, and then we're going to kind of alleviate it for the rest of the show, because this particular posture is done right after eating, right after a meal. And the reason is because it encourages proper digestion. So, of course, we all know that we don't want to do any type of yoga or fitness program or even taking an extremely vigorous walk with right after a large meal. So some people cannot sit on their knees, so if you're not sitting well on your knees, please rock just a little bit forward here and put your hands here, tuck your toes if you want to, and just see if your hips come back semi-comfortably. You'll still be getting a little bit of closure in this front area, which I'll talk about in a second. So I'm going to face sideways first, and this is just a kneeling posture, also known as thunderbolt pose. I have no idea why it's called thunderbolt, but it is, because it's not full of action, is it? So I'm sitting back on my heels, and I'm sitting very, very tall. So we want to make sure that this is not the posture here. We want to make sure that we're raising our crown nice and tall. Our chest and shoulders are open, and we're sitting back on the heels. Now, the reason we do this thunderbolt posture and the reason it contributes a lot to digestion has to do a lot with blood flow. So what happens here is when we're in this posture, we're actually reducing a lot of circulation in our low body, obviously. Sometimes when we get up from this position, it's kind of hard to walk. So anyway, that's the point. So we're drawing more blood flow and energy and activity right here into the gut. And that's exactly what we want. So this helps, I'm not going to say speed up digestion, but let's say make our digestion a little bit more efficient. Now, as we're sitting in this posture, you're welcome to take a little time for meditation. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to go anywhere. You can close your eyes and relax. One thing I want to show you is the feet. So I'm going to turn around a bit, and I want to make sure that our feet are not like this, which is naturally the way we want to sit, with the big toes together and the heels pulling out. I bet some of us are sitting this way right now, right? What we want to do is try to pull the toes moderately back. Don't kill yourself. Just pull the toes moderately back, draw the heels a little bit together, and you'll feel that your cheeks are sitting on your heels. Also, now this is not entirely 100% comfortable. You're welcome to sit on a blanket or a big towel, and that's really, really helpful. I have a yoga mat under the sand, so I'm cheating a little bit here. But anyway, that's very, very important. Also, when we draw those heels together a little bit like this, you'll also feel another way to look at it is your shins and top of the feet are facing down. So we're not like this with our feet, okay? We're like this. So we want the front calves, that's a long explanation, isn't it? We want those front calves facing down, and we want the top of the ankles facing down. And it does start out to be a little bit uncomfortable. So just relax and breathe. I think last night, before I closed my eyes, it was 8:23 after my dinner. When I opened my eyes and finished this posture, it was 8:26. So last night I held this for 3 minutes. Relax, breathe, lower your arms and hands. Please sit tall and put a little pressure, maybe on your toenails, press down a little bit, and that'll help you keep it'll help you keep your legs and your body stable. The abs are moderately in. Don't knock yourself out and suck in your abs, okay? The abs are moderately in. You're sitting tall. And I want you to take 6 to 8 good breaths here, relaxing and releasing. Please do this. It's just wonderful. Close your eyes if you wish to, and just let your mind float away. Keep your body structured and efficient and breathe. Exhale completely. See if you can put your hands in your laps or resting on the knees. Inhale deeply through the nose, full. Pause at the top here. Exhale with a slight contraction in the throat as you draw in the low belly. Let your low belly be very involved in your exhale. Pause at the bottom of the exhale. 5 or 6 more breaths, please. I'm reminding you that you're sitting tall. Your chest is open, your heart is lifted, your rib cage is long and tall. Be good to yourself here. Little pressure in the toenails, down into the sand, down into your carpet, down into the ground. Remember, this is immediately after eating, give or take 5 minutes. Try 3 more breaths. Stay accurate in your posture. Release your arms. Rock your body a little bit forward. To release your knees a bit, swing your feet out and rest your hips on the ground, okay? Just let your knees release for a moment. No matter what shape our knees and our legs and our hips are in, knees never like being in this position. So respect the knees, let them release a little bit, let the blood flow, come back to the joints, and before you go anywhere. So, while we get started with this posture today, now remember that thunderbolt pose is right after a meal. The rest of this, of course, we do yoga on an empty stomach. So let's just warm up the shoulders a tad here with our feet facing forward. We're in a gentle staff pose. Bring your hands to your shoulders and just take a little circle around, leading with the elbows here. And just feel the shoulders opening up. You can go one at a time, which I always think is much more efficient. A lot of times if we work both shoulders, at once, sometimes we involve too much neck. So just kind of sway and enjoy here. And go ahead and let your rib cage go a little bit side to side with you. So what we're doing now is we're warming up the shoulders a little bit and a little bit of the upper trapezius, just to be efficient, really, because our arms are going to move just a little bit today. This session today for digestion is gentle. You can go deeper. The stretches today that we're going to do, I would like you to hold longer. If you're watching this, you can DVR and pause, okay? If you do have DVR, do what works for you, but you can always make your stretches much longer. Stretches should always be no less than 30 seconds, and I prefer 60 to 90 seconds. So warming up a little bit, and put your feet in any position that's comfortable for you, and let's take a little bit of a roll side to side. And all I want you to do is kind of just, roll on your buns. I do want you to stay nice and tall here, okay? I don't want us to do this, okay? I want us to stay on those sits bones, roll, and yes, one cheek will come up a little. Just roll, and you're just bringing a little bit of extra blood flow here in your gluteals. And now what we're going to do is we're going to glue those sits bones to the ground. And we're only going to move the torso a little bit. Now you can be kneeling if you would like. You can be kneeling as we were a moment ago. So we're just moving enough right here to open up the rib cage a little bit. Please pull the abdominals in. And we're just getting our abdominal muscles active and moving. Of course, now my stomach's empty, right? Digestion, sometimes we overlook. Let's pause to one side when you feel ready, either side. Bring one hand to your shoulder and take a little pause, bracing with this hand, making sure this elbow is bent so we're not pushed up here in the shoulder, and we are still nice and tall, so we're not folding over here. One shoulder is stacked above the other shoulder. We're coming over and we're opening this side body. So right here, you're welcome to raise your arm over your head. I'm not going to do that today, but equally invigorating is to raise the elbow upward toward the sky, and you're really going to feel this side body open up. So we're opening up our entire core area. We're stretching. We are activating and increasing the blood flow. Come back to the top. Nice deep breath. By the way, don't hold your breath on anything, okay? Take a deep inhale and exhale as we come over to side two, very gently bracing, bringing your hand to your shoulder comfortably. And when you feel that point where you're stopping, both sits bones are down, bring that elbow up to the sky. Enjoy bringing it up without lifting that shoulder up. Breathe and enjoy. Pull in those abdominals. And bring it back up to the top. And right here, let's roll back onto our elbows just a little bit. Now we're going to take a very, very gentle sway with the knees. Pull the feet apart, by the way, so that when you're rocking side to side, the knees and feet don't get in the way and touch each other. So we're just going to sway here. We're not trying to touch the ground. We're just swaying, and you're going to feel your hips creating some solid action here in the hips, and we're manipulating our intestines a little bit. So, you know, any time that we're creating or moving our core area, including sometimes the hips, we're massaging our intestines, which is always wonderful. So we're going to go into our first gentle warm-up. Again, with your elbows down, put your hands, if you'd like to, face up under your glutes if you want to. Sometimes it's more comfortable or not. I want to make sure you're pressing on the shoulders, lifting your chest nice and high, and pull one knee in and extend and pull the knee away. Try not to move that back at all. Take a deep breath in, pulling the foot away, and exhale, pull in. We're going to increase this in a moment. We're just warming up a little bit here. Extend. Exhale as you pull in, closing the body. Inhale as we pull out. This actually feels pretty good. And let's do 8 of these. I think this is 4 or 5. So another reason the hands are under the glutes here, particularly some of us with a very, very sway or lordotic curve in our spine, this is a lot more comfortable. You don't need to put your hands under your seat if you don't want to. And release that leg. Take a deep inhale, pulling those toes out, and exhale. Pull in leg number 2 and inhale out. Now we want to be able to pull in that knee as much as possible. So here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to drop the foot down and so the knee comes up like this. You can only get in so far. I want you to extend here and keep your calf parallel with the floor. Now look how far I can bring that knee in. All the way to my shoulder. Well, close. We're keeping the abdominals in, reminding ourselves to stay tall. Inhale, pushing out, and exhale, pulling in. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, out. We're really getting those hips, abdominals, and low back ready here. And 2 more, I think. And we're going to lay down and do some more work right here. Lay down flat on your back. Now your breathing is going to make a difference here. We're going to extend the legs. Just let me fix my mic for a moment. We're going to extend our legs with our hands to our side. And the point here is we want this low back, our lumbar spine, we want it in flat to the ground. So draw your abdominals in deeply. We're going to take a deep breath in and out. Our hands come to the floor. We're driving down our scapula and rear delts. And on your next inhale, raise a straight leg up. You're not kicking up, just raise it up. And exhale, lower it down. And inhale, raise up. and exhale, lower down. You can bring your foot to the floor if you would like to, if that's easier for you. This is not a fierce leg exercise, so go ahead and let the foot drop to the floor if you'd like. And exhale down. Both legs are straight. Go ahead and press down a little bit with leg number 2. That'll help you leverage, keeping your hips very square. And just enjoy this movement. You might be thinking right now, what on earth does this have to do with my digestion and my abdominals? Trust me, it does have something to do. Alrighty, anytime we are activating in this area, we're bringing in more blood flow, more energy, more activity. Switch legs now. Inhale. And lifting, press down a little with this leg, and exhale down. We're laying flat, scapula down. Inhale, lift. Now, do remember, I want to remind us the quads, knees, and feet face straight up, okay? We're not turning our toes in. We're not being lazy with the knees. The kneecaps are straight up in the air. Breathe. Inhale, lift. Pull the abdominals in. Pull the navel in so it grips down on the ground as close as you can. I think 2 more will make 8. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Nice job. Take a little breather. Bend the knees and relax here, and you'll relax your quads and your hips. Feel that your abdomen is relaxing here as well. You can pull your feet out and let your knees drop together if you want, and that'll release the hip flexors a little bit. And take a couple of breaths. Okay, our next movement, we're going to involve bridge pose. You don't have to do a full bridge, but I want you to be as efficient as you can. Of course, we drive our feet toward our hips, not all the way, very close to the hips. Feet are hip width apart. Scapula is down in our hands, or excuse me, our arms are down on the ground. Your hands don't need to be on the ground. So if you end up pressing with your hands to help you do this, we really don't want that. So just make sure your triceps and your elbows and of course your rear delts or your scapula is on the ground. So I always pull my hands away to make sure I don't cheat. So we're going to come into bridge pose. Take a deep inhale, pressing down on the feet, press down on the upper arms and lift a little bit, and you're really hyperextending the spine a little bit here. Now pull your hips and your pelvis up to the sky. Press down your arms, pull your abdominals in, pressing with the feet. Now the first one, it might not be a big hit for you. That's okay. Lower down with your hips coming down last, and then I want you to pull your knees in and give yourself a little hug. Nice counter stretch. This counter stretch, this hug is going to change in a moment. So this would be the lower modification right here. So let's come back into bridge. Feet are hip width apart, toes are facing forward, knees facing up, abs tight. Nice deep breath in. I like to breathe out as I lift, but on bridge you can do either way. Pressing deep in the feet, deep in my rear deltoids, my rear shoulders, my elbows, my upper arms. I'm pulling my abs in and I'm lifting up. Remember, you don't need to lift to the sky, but lift up to some tension. Hold for a breath or two. And slowly lower down, upper back first, middle back, lower back. Take a deep breath in when you're ready, and on the exhale, pull the knees in. Now I want you this time to hold the knees because we're getting our low back ready for a deeper stretch. We're going to do half of a plow pose. Don't be scared. Half of a plow pose. It's going to be very comfortable. It's not going to be anything full of tension or full of muscles. Back to your bridge. This is number 3. Pressing down firmly, abs tight. Press deep into the feet and the scapula. Deep breath, abs tight. Lifting up. Take your time. Now, if you have time to do 5 of these, that's great. If you only have time to do 1 or 2 of this whole series, that is wonderful. It's more than we did yesterday, right? So that's fabulous. Lifting up, press deep into the feet, and slowly lowering the upper spine, curling down middle spine and lower spine, and bring those knees in. Now this time I want you to move your hands a little bit higher. I want you to take a very modified hamstring stretch. Hamstring stretch. I don't want you to pull hard. I want you to still keep your scapula on the ground and just draw a little bit of a stretch here. Take 3 or 4 breaths. And what's happening right now, we're preparing our hamstrings for what's coming. So we're doing a little cheater's warm-up here. Take a little tiny sway side to side. Use your arms here, use your biceps, pulling, drawing slightly, drawing, pressing down the scapula, the entire back. Let's go, 1 more. I don't know if this is 4 or 5. Let's pretend it's 5. All right, pressing down the feet, toes facing forward. Spine is downward. Take a deep breath. Press on the feet, lift the pelvis up, lift the hips up, press down in the scapula, press down in your upper arms, elbows, shoulders. Lift here, see if you can hold 3 breaths. Breathe, pull the abs in. Feel that your cheeks get a little tight here. Buttocks get a little bit tight. 1 more breath. Relax the neck. And slowly lowering the upper back down. Releasing. Okay, here we go for the fun one. I'm going to move my mic a little bit. Bringing the legs up overhead again. Gently exhale here. Pull the abs in here and just grab on. Just hold here for a moment and slowly roll back down. I don't want you to be way up here. This is not a humongous move, okay? Lower down, and if you want, bring your hands way down here. Point the toes a little bit. Now I want you to be able to hold your legs here. So put your arms out to the side, out to a T. Right here with the feet together, you're going to sway leading with the feet. Sway side to side. Like you're sweeping dust off the sky. Sweeping dust off your ceiling. Sweep the dust off that fan right above your head. Now what I want to make sure that we're not doing here is pulling the feet way away, just hanging out here with our feet up. I want you to close the lower front body. Close that lower front body. Keep drawing the feet over your head. The hips are lifted up and you're swaying. Keep pulling the feet as if they're going to come over and touch the ground, all right? Feel this fabulous sway. This is wonderful. Straight legs. You can point the toes. Do keep your feet together. It's much easier. 1 more to go. This is great. Bend the knees. Release and come on up. Big breath. And relax back down. All righty. On to another movement. Relax your shoulders for a moment. Take one leg forward. Let's take this leg forward so I'm facing the camera. And bend the other leg right here. Those of you that are not that limber, you can keep your leg right here. We're going to take a very gentle spinal twist, all right? We're going to take an inhale here and hug on that leg with the opposite arm and exhale as we take a little twist over that leg, bracing your hand behind. Now, those of you that are a little more limber, again, a spinal twist is often for the ITB, the hips, the gluteals, and so forth. Remember, right now, you don't kill yourself stretching. This is not a toning session. We are massaging and working the intestines. So I'm going to pull my leg over with my knee still facing up and give it a hug this way. I'm going to hold on to my pants here because that's good leverage. Take that little twist. And try to hold this for a good 5 breaths. Try to make sure, let's see, you cannot see my other foot, but this foot, try to make it flat on the ground, okay? Flat on the ground, even over here. And if it can't get flat, pull forward a little bit. That's just fine. Holding our stretch. Sitting tall, both sits bones on the ground. So as we're holding the stretch, I'll just remind us a bit that our intestines are something like 25 feet long. They do a lot of work. They do a lot of work using blood, cells, and muscles. Little muscles in the intestines push food particles, and eventually waste, okay? We have small intestines, and we have, of course, large intestines. Unwind. Take a deep breath in. Sitting tall, exhale, and draw the heart forward. When you have reached a spot of a little bit of tension, go ahead, hang on, and drop down. comfortably. Now we're closing the body. Please keep the abdominals in. Bring it on up. Our small intestines, which connect through a tube from the stomach, are 20-something feet long, and the food goes through. Let's get ready for leg number 2, pulling up. Take a deep breath in. Hug with the opposite arm gently, and if you can't do that today, just grab with your hand and take an exhale as you stretch. So I'm going to move a little so I don't talk to you backwards. Our food and nutrients are processed in the small intestine. Particles broken up. The food particles become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller with the assistance of fluid from our liver and pancreas and so on, which part of that is bile, okay, which protect the stomach so that acids don't process in the stomach or process part of our stomach with our food. Then, when all the nutrients possible, unwind, inhale, sit nice and tall, and exhale, draw forward. Hold on to what you can hold on to, heart forward, and take a little forward bend. Just hold on, don't knock yourself out, just a nice draw forward. When all that is processed, the food enters into the large intestine. Okay, the large intestine actually pulls out water. It pulls out hydration, it pulls out water. The rest of it is waste. So it comes up the right side. It travels up with muscles, travels across, and travels down. That takes muscles, that takes work. So we want to keep everything moving here. Alrighty, our final move today is going to be quite comfortable. Take an inhale, lay all the way back, pull one leg up. Now, because it goes from right to left, let's start with the right leg pushing into the large intestine. As we take an inhale and gently exhale, cross over, and inhale, center. Exhale, cross the knee over, both shoulders on the ground. Please don't roll over on your side. Okay, inhale. How much time do we have left, Mike? Do you know? Exhale. We're wrapping up. All right, inhale and exhale. Bring it in and across on the exhale. Inhale back to center, and I want you to keep doing this. Thank you for joining me today for Happy Digestion. Thank you for watching Auburn Community TV here at Atwood Video. Inhale, open up, have a fabulous day. Stay tuned for Cece's Pilates show. Namaste.